At the height of the Cold War, two iron giants took to the sky. One was built to see and escape, the other to hunt and destroy. But behind these two birds lay a hidden battle, a war fought in the depths of material science, thermodynamics, and pure mathematics. This is the story of American titanium versus Soviet nickel steel. The roots of the mission. The SR-71's mission was simple: fly at 25,000 meters and Mach 3.3 so that no missile could ever touch it, allowing it to cross any border with impunity. On the opposing side, the MiG-31 was designed to be the Soviet Union's aerial shield and interceptor, capable of chasing down the fastest enemy birds and launching long-range R-33 missiles at them. A flying missile launcher with piercing eyes. The material were white titanium and white steel. This is the turning point of the story. At Mach 3, leading edge temperatures soared to 538 Celsius. Lockheed was forced to build 97% of the airframe from the pure titanium. Titanium that was 4 times more expensive than aluminum and so difficult to machine that diamond-tipped drill bits would burn out instantly. But here's the kicker: over half the titanium used in this aircraft was secretly purchased from the Soviet Union itself through shell companies. But the MiG-31 took 1 step back and 2 steps forward. By reducing the top speed to Mach 2.83, Soviet engineers brought the aircraft temperature down to under 350 Celsius. This allowed them to use nickel cobalt steel instead of pure titanium. This metal was cheaper, much easier to weld, and performed brilliantly against thermal shock in Siberia's extreme cold. They even used 33% lightweight aluminum in the structure to keep the weight under control. Solving the impossible challenges. Challenge 1: Thermal expansion. The titanium skin of this R-71 would stretch by up to 28 centimeters or 11 inches mid-flight. If the skin were rigid, it would shatter. Engineers were forced to design the panels as corrugated, wavy sections so they could expand and contract like an accordion. Moreover, they had to fuel the aircraft with leaking JP7 fuel on the ground, because the panels would only seal properly once heated up at high speeds. On the other side, MiG-31 faced an electronic challenge. To intercept supersonic targets, it needed a long-range radar, so they installed the world's first phased array radar ever fitted to a fighter jet. The Zaslon radar could simultaneously track 10 targets and fire at 4 of them at the exact same time, something the SR-71's designers never even contemplated. The story of the engines. The SR-71's J58 was a hybrid half turbojet, half ramjet. At high speeds, side bypass doors would open, allowing 80% of the incoming air to escape the compressor and blast directly into the afterburner. Meanwhile, the MiG-31's D-30F6 was the brute force powerhouse with excellent efficiency at low altitudes. Because the MiG-31 has to fight just as effectively at 20 kilometers as it did at sea level. Both engines were masterpieces, but one was built for sustained endurance at speed, while the other was built for instant explosive acceleration. States and figures: weight, price, production, and crashes. Let's talk numbers. The SR-71 with an empty weight of 30 tons and a takeoff weight of 78 tons was a giant that burned 240,000 worth of fuel per flight hour. Only 32 units were ever built, and tragically 12 of them, roughly 40%, were lost in non-combat accidents. The MiG-31, however, weighed just 21 tons empty, making it much more agile. 500 units rolled off the production line. It had significantly lower maintenance costs and the speed, losing 49 aircraft. Its sheer numbers means it remained the backbone of Russian Air Force. The final verdict and conclusion. So, who is the winner? If you want a straightforward answer, the SR-71 was a pure scientific masterpiece, proof that humanity could forge a heart from titanium that flew at bullet speeds, but the MiG-31 was a triumph of system engineering. Soviet engineers accepted that they wouldn't be as fast as the SR-71, but they built a system that was more practical, cheaper, and more ready for real warfare. In the end, the SR-71 was never shot down by a missile, but the MiG-31 was the very reason those spybirds stayed away from Soviet airspace. That means both won their respective missions. What's your take? If you were the engineer, would you choose expensive titanium or smart, rugged steel? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this engineering deep dive, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more legendary aviation stories. See you in the next one.